Hey friends, it's Lisa Mears here. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm sharing the Stamps of Life Club products for January 2025. And I'll also be making some cards with these products, so be sure to stick around for that. So this month's theme is Ladybugs. You have your Stamp and Die Hard set, which is the Loveable Ladybugs, and it looks like this. You can see there's three ladybugs. One of them is holding a flower. You have a couple others there, and lots of sentiments with this set, such as sending you blooms and bug hugs, happy birthday to a special lady, and so many more. Now, if you're a Stamp Club member, you get the stamp set, and if you're a Die Hard Club member, you'll get both the stamp and the coordinating die set. And then there's also the card kit for January, and this card kit is called Special Day Collection. There's lots of fun products in here that go along with the ladybug theme. So let me pull out the idea card or the inspiration card, and here's what it looks like. So you can see some cards that you can make with the contents of this kit. You also get some cardstock, and they are in this storage envelope. So you also get the storage envelope, which you can store your cardstock in or card kit contents. And then you also get a pack of envelopes for your A2 size cards. And then here are your cardstock colors for this month. So we have kiwi, and then there's the grass color, banana, strawberry, cranberry, midnight, which is a navy blue, licorice, which is black, ginger snap, and then 4 sheets of the powdered sugar, and that's the white cardstock. So there's your color palette for this card kit. I'll go ahead and scoop these to the side, and let's take a look at the paper pad. Here's a sheet with all of those ladybugs that are flying, and then on the reverse you have these little squiggly lines, and that is going to be on most of the opposite pages throughout the pad in various colors of the card kit. Now you also have the special day paper, and you also get a coordinating die. So the die, when it's die cut, looks like the way that it's written on the paper. And then here, this sheet are some ladybugs that you can die cut out if you have the coordinating dies. You can use the shadow die to die cut those ladybugs. Here are some more cute ladybugs. You can see the squiggly line. There it is in the ginger snap color and the midnight color. Here are some more ladybugs that you can use for your cards, but you would need the more lovable ladybug dies to die cut those. And if you don't have those dies, you can always fussy cut those out with your scissors. There are some fun polka dots, some more ladybugs. There's also some of the tulips. Those are pretty. And you get 2 of each one of the patterns that you see. So that is the paper pad. You also get an A1 size card base, and this is the A1 square stand-up die set. So here's what it looks like on the front. You also get that large word die that says "Miss You." So when we turn it over, you can see you get the large card base. There's the word die that says "Miss You." You get 3 of the flowers with the stems, and you get a die that has the grass. So that's a fun die that you can use to make A1 size cards. You also get a pack of stickers and some black sticky gems. You also get some felt flowers. They have a beautiful pearl in the center. And then you get this sentiment sticker sheet, lots of fun sentiments for your cards. Also included is this blue ribbon, and it has white dots, super cute. Okay, so that's everything that's included in the Stamps of Life January card kit. If you are interested in joining any of the Stamps of Life clubs, I will have a link down in the description box of this video where you can find out more information about these clubs. And if you are interested in joining, please use my coupon code Lisa Mears so that you can get $5 in bonus club points to spend in the Stamps of Life store. And when you use my code, it does help support me and my YouTube channel because I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you. So thank you. So let's go ahead and make some cards. I'm starting with this black piece of pattern paper. I die cut it with a stitched rectangle die. And if you don't have a rectangle die, you can always just cut this down. It measures 5 by 3 3/4 inches. I also have this piece of yellow cardstock that I cut to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now I did cut the center out just so that I can save that yellow cardstock. Now you don't have to do that, but you can see how these two pieces will layer on top. So the black pattern will go on top of that big empty space to cover it up. So I'm just going to put some glue and add the pattern to it. So you can see the yellow peeking along the edges. Next, I have a piece of red cardstock. I cut that with a stitched rectangle die. And again, if you don't have a stitched rectangle die, that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm just layering the other layer right on top of the red. Next, I have these two pieces of cardstock, both cut in rectangles. They measure 3 1/2 by 2 1/2 inches. I have a red one and a white one, and I'm going to add them so that they are a little bit crooked on the card front, starting with the red first. So that's going to be the bottom layer, and then I'll add the white one in the opposite direction just so I can see a little bit of that red peeking on the edges. I'm going to use this ladybug with the flower. I did put some foam on the back to pop that up, and I'm going to put that on the right side of my card. And then I'm going to use the word hello, that's the sticker, and I'm going to put that in the white rectangle box. Now some of that sticker did peel up when I was trying to get it away from the backing, so I'm just going to glue that down. I was gonna use the black gems, but realized that the red would look better, and those are just some red ones from my stash. I didn't want to add the black because I think the black next to the black sentiment wouldn't have looked as great as just adding the red color, and it also brings out the red in the ladybug. So I'm going to add 3 of the gems to the front of my card. And then I will add that layer to an A2 size white card base. Now, just to let you know, I will have pictures of all of these cards and measurements over on my blog at lisamearsdesigns.com. There will be a blog post link down in the description box below. I am bringing in my clear glitter brush pen from scrapbook.com, and I'm just coloring over these die cuts, the flower and the ladybug, to add some glitter. You can see how those sparkle. So pretty. For my next card, I'm bringing in the Heart Wonky Dot Folded Die Set. This was included in last month's card kit. Now, if you're a new subscriber to the card kit, you might not have this heart, but you can use any heart dies that you have in your stash. Any basic heart dies would work. So I die cut the smaller heart out of the white cardstock, the next size out of the yellow, and the largest size out of the red cardstock. Next, I grouped the smallest die with the dotted die to come up with the dotted hearts, and I did that out of the Midnight cardstock, which is that navy blue. And I'm just going to layer all these pieces together. So I'll add the yellow to the red heart, and then I'm going to add the white heart on top of that. And then that blue heart with the dots will go right on top of the white, and you'll be able to see all the white cardstock peeking through the dots. So you can basically put any color underneath that depending on what color dots that you want for your heart. And I chose to use the blue and white because I was trying to get the same look that was in the ribbon, because I know I'll be using that ribbon on my card today. So I'm going to be using one of the ladybugs. I also die cut a stem from the stand-up die set. So that die set has some stems included in it, and I die cut one out of the green cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back, and I'm going to tuck it behind the ladybug, and I'm going to bring in one of the flower stickers from the puffy sticker pack and just put it on the top. Now, if you didn't want to use the puffy sticker, you can always just die cut one of the flowers from that card die set, because it does have the dies in there. I am going to put some foam on the back of the ladybug so that it's popped up in front of the flower. And then I will add that to the heart. And you can see the sentiment there. I'm using one of the stickers. The sticker says, "You are so precious to me." I'm going to add that onto the heart. So you can totally make this a little heart-shaped card by adding this to a heart-shaped card base using the largest heart die in this set, or you can add it to an A2 size card, which is what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to take that blue with the white dot ribbon and I'm just adding some tape to the back. I am going to put it underneath the lower portion of the heart, and I'm going to wrap it around the sides of this piece of yellow pattern paper. So my yellow pattern paper is cut down to 5 1/8 by 4 3/8 inches. And I'm just removing the backing of the tape and then pressing that down to the cardstock. The heart is going to go right on top, so I'll go ahead and glue that down. I also cut down another piece of red cardstock to 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 inches. Again, I cut the center out, but the pattern paper with the heart is going to go right on top to close that up. Next, I'm going to add that to an A2 size card base. But I'm not finished yet. I do want to add a little bow using the ribbon from the kit. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always had difficulty tying a bow with a ribbon that's not double-sided, such as this one. So there's the dots on the front, but not on the back. And usually when I end up tying a bow, I end up with one tail that shows the dots, and then the other tail will show just the solid blue part. So in order to fix that, I've come up with a way, and maybe this has been around for a while, I don't know, but I just now am figuring this out. So I just tied my bow into what looks like a awareness ribbon, and notice that all of the dots are facing on top. Next, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue underneath where those pieces overlap. And by the way, this ribbon was cut down to 6 1/2 inches to start. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue in the center of the solid blue area on that little loop area. And then I'm going to press that up so that it's touching where the crisscross is in the ribbon. And I'll just press that down with my fingers so that it is secure. Next, I'm just going to cut the tails at a diagonal. And then I'm just going to put it there on my card with some hot glue. And I'm not done yet because I'm going to put a little pearl on the inside. And I chose to use a pearl because it resembles those dots that are in the heart. So I'm just using a white pearl and I popped it on there with some hot glue. So now you can see that the tails of the bows, they both have the dots on them, but I don't know, I've just always had some trouble making them so that both of those tails show the decorative part of that ribbon. So hopefully if any of you struggle with that like I did, hopefully this helps you out. Next, I'm going to add some accents with my white gel pen to the ladybug, and then I'll use my glitter brush pen and color over that ladybug to add some sparkle with that glitter pen. And then that's going to complete this card. I love how this turned out. It's super cute. For my next card, my tulip pattern paper is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have this strip of other pattern paper. This is the blue with the white loopy lines. That is cut to 1 inch by 5 1/4. It's actually a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors and just trim it off so that it's even with the tulip paper. I also cut down a piece of green cardstock that measures 1/4 inch wide. I'm going to put that where the two patterns intersect, and then I'm just going to trim that off. So the total height of that is also the 5 1/4 inches. I have two other pieces of cardstock. The yellow I cut out with a die from Spellbinders. It has a little bit of stitching on it. And then I also cut out a piece of white cardstock that's cut to 2 by 3.5 that will layer right on top of the yellow. And I'm putting the white cardstock in my Misti. I'm going to be using the puffy sticker with the flower and the ladybug, and I'm just positioning everything here where I want it because I am going to stamp down a sentiment at the bottom. So just want to make sure I had enough room there. So once I have the sentiment where I want it, I've removed the puffy sticker, and I'll go ahead and ink this up with some black ink, and I'll stamp that down onto my white cardstock. And this says happy birthday to a special lady. And then I will add the puffy sticker right above that. And then I will glue that white layer to the yellow layer. I added some foam behind that, and I'm adding it to the center of that card layer with the pattern paper. And then I'll add this to an A2 size card base. And next I'll add a few of the sticky gems to my card. And that will complete this card. Moving on, I'll be using the A1 square stand-up die set for my card, and I've already die cut the card base out of some yellow cardstock. This die will put some score marks in the cardstock, and I'm going to just fold at those score lines. And it does help to use a bone folder to get a good fold in those score lines. And you can see that there's a little notch here on this part of the cardstock, and that's what's going to hold the top part of that stand-up card. It's going to hold it so that it stands up. Now, if it doesn't hold it right off the bat, just make sure you then take your scoring tool and just give that another score along that line until it's really folded down, and that should help it stay pressed against that little notch. Okay, so there are some layering pieces to this die set, and I'm going to be using the polka dot pattern paper for my layering pieces, and I'm just going to line this up here with some mint tape and run that through my die cutting machine. And this piece is going to go right on the front of the card, so I'll go ahead and glue that down. And then I will put that there on the card base, and then I have another layering piece that's going to go behind that, and that's the die that looks like this one, and that's going to go right here. I'm going to die cut that one also with the dotted pattern paper, and I'll glue that one down as well. You can use any pattern papers you want here. Any color cardstock will work. I decided to go with the same pattern for both sections. Also included in this die set is this Miss You die with a layering square, and it looks like the picture on the front, so you can actually cut out that sentiment. Now, I'm not going to be using that sentiment today. You can see the example there on the front, so if you need some inspiration using it, you can. Instead, I'm just going to use the square and die cut a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to be doing some ink blending on that square. I've also die cut the grass die 2 times out of the kiwi cardstock. So I'm going to, on the white square, create a little sky in the background. So I wanted to put some blue ink on this cardstock. Now, if you don't like doing ink blending, that's fine. You can just get a piece of blue cardstock and do the same thing. So just instead of inking it up, just get a piece of blue cardstock for the sky. And I'm just putting some of my Distress Oxide ink on here, starting with the tumbled glass all over the entire square, and then I'm going to come in with the Salty Ocean just around the edges to add a little bit of depth to my cardstock layer. Then I'm going to come back in with the tumbled glass and blend those two together, so I have a little bit of a darker blue on the edge and the lighter blue on the inside, and they are blended together. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of ink on the edge of the grass using the Mode Lawn Distress Oxide ink. That's just going to add a little bit of depth to the grass. And I'm going to add the grass layers to the bottom of my square. So I'm going to start out with one of the grass die cuts, and I'm going to put it at the bottom, but not all the way to the bottom. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit because I want it slightly higher than the other one. And the goal here is to have the ladybug inside of both layers of grass. It just adds a little bit of depth to that card. So I'm going to go ahead and add my ladybug. And that ladybug fits perfectly on that square. And then I'm going to add some glue to the next piece of grass. And that one I'm going to add flush with the bottom edge of the square. So the little feet are kind of layered in between both of those pieces of grass. And I just snipped off the edges, and there's my cute little ladybug, and that's going to go right in the center of my card. But I wanted to make this pop a little bit off of that dotted background, so I'm going to add a piece of yellow cardstock underneath that square layer. So I'm going to measure the square just to see how wide it is, and it's roughly 2 1/8 inches. So I'm going to cut a piece of yellow cardstock so it's just slightly a little bit larger than 2 1/8. Once I have that cut, I'll go ahead and glue the ladybug piece down to the yellow square cardstock. You can see it just puts a very slight edge around that square, and then I'll add that to the center of my card base. I'm going to bring in some of the Cloud Puffy stickers from last month's kit. Those would be great to use in my sky, so I'll add a larger one and a smaller one here. And then I want to add a piece of cardstock on the bottom flap. So I cut a piece of green cardstock to 4 5/8 by 1 3/8. Just going to add some of my green ink to the edges of that green cardstock, and then I'll add it to the card base. So make sure that you add it so that it's below that little notch, because you don't want to add it so that it's on top of it, because then you'll have trouble making sure that this stands up. I'm also going to use the sentiment sticker, Happy Birthday to You, and it's in the yellow color, which matches the card base, and I'm just going to add that sticker to that green cardstock. Now you could either stop there, or I decided to add another bow. This time the center of my bow is going to be the red felt flower, so I just hot glued that right to the center. I'm going to snip off the ends, and then I'm going to hot glue that to my card. And this card is now complete. I really love how this turned out. So you can see that you can stand it up, and it does fold flat for mailing. Now it might be a little bit hard to put that in an envelope for mailing because of that bow, but if you do add a bow, you can always hand deliver this type of card. So I hope you liked my cards today. I would love to hear which one was your favorite. Leave me a comment down below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you like videos like this and want to see more, make sure you click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.